God! Lost my GoPro. That's how fast this freaking car is. Well, it's working. America had its muscle cars in the 60s and 70s. The Italians taking over the supercar scene in the 70s, going into the 80s. Mid-80s come around. The German horsepower wars begin. In 1985, the E28 M5 is born. The first BMW M5, and the one that started it all. With almost 300 horsepower, 6 cylinders, and an incredible top speed for the time, the M5 really was the king of the road. American muscle had the speed, but German super sedans, they had supercar speed with world-class luxury. Not to mention, in the US, you could only get the E28 M5 in black. How badass is that?
So what do you think? Does it come in black?
Then in the 90s, the E34 M5 had big shoes to fill. With it came more power, more technology, more features, more safety, and more sales. The E34 really proved that there really was a market for the super sedan. And then came the GOAT, the E39 M5.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
The E39 brought 400 horsepower, the first V8 M5, and that soundtrack. And really, this car is still pretty quick today. Then they shoved an V10 in the E60 M5. You know, just an F1 derived 8,200 RPM screaming V10 with over 500 horsepower. And how does a 200 mile an hour top speed sound? In a family sedan from 2006. What? And with that supercar configuration also came a supercar sound. When people say they miss the naturally aspirated engines of the past, yeah, this is what they're talking about. The E28 M5 made a splash in the car scene. This was like a nuclear bomb going off. A recession and then a focus on economical cars gave birth to the F90 M5. This car had more power, much more torque than the E60, but it made away with that monstrous V10 and went back to a V8. Although this V8 was twin turbocharged, and it sounded like crap. And really, in some instances, kind of sounded like it was taking one. And purists were furious. But while it lacked some emotion in the drivetrain, it made up for in outright speed and just complete waywardness. This car was a lunatic. If you thought the BMW M community's reaction to adding turbos was bad, with the F90 generation, they added all-wheel drive, and people lost their minds. However, with this four-wheel drive system, BMW set a Guinness World Record for the longest drift ever. Just look at the video. But that leads us to today. I'm borrowing my friend's BMW M5. This is, again, the F90 generation, although the last year for the F90. This car has a lot to live up to. So this is going to be an interesting day for me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2023 BMW M5 competition. I've waited a long time to get behind the wheel of one of these. So this is finished in Alvite Gray, which some keen viewers may see that it's very similar to the Champagne Quartz. It is a stunning, stunning color. And it's not overly showy like some of the colors you get on the G90 M3, but under the right lighting, and you'll see in the video, you have like these purple, blue accents coming through the metallic paint. It is absolutely stunning. And he has the carbon ceramic brakes on here. He has the M Performance exhaust, as well as the Aragon, whatever the heck it is, brown interior. Yeah, absolutely stunning stuff. This is my first time ever getting behind the wheel of the F90 M5. I'm very excited, but I think it's the best looking BMW that they're making nowadays. That's not saying much. Yeah, this is a pretty incredible piece of kit, and let's take it for a drive. And the turn-in's great. I mean, you feel the heft of the car for sure, but you expect that with something that is over 4,000 pounds, and really, it's still an incredible handling machine. Not to mention, it is so comfortable. These seats are great. They're bucket seats. They're supportive, but they're not overly so. Like you have some room to kind of just chill and enjoy the drive. You're not being jostled around and having these like really thin carbon bucket seats, and you get massage seats, which is pretty sweet. Although I have to say, it's about the equivalent of having a Ziploc bag being inflated and deflated under your ass. So it's not the most convincing massage, but the fact that you have it's kind of cool. But in 2018, when the F90 M5 first came out, and it had all-wheel drive and a true slush box automatic transmission, it went away with the DCT of the previous generation. People were all up in arms.
Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way.
We're getting all-wheel drive everything. We're getting automatics. We're getting turbocharged. That is sacrilegious to the M community. But now, I mean, think about it. You have all-wheel drive, so you have that security of being able to push this car as far as you want to on the street. But you can also, you have the choice to make it rear-wheel drive. So that's not a necessarily bad thing in my opinion. And also, this 8-speed, one, it can handle the power better. So if you are someone that likes to tune their cars, then this transmission's perfect. And it's so quick and smooth. That makes this car more of a dual personality. Whereas in the previous generation DCTs, there was a little bit of hesitation. It's not as smooth. It might have been fast as hell, but this is a perfect in-between, in my opinion. And you can't deny that the 8-speed automatic by ZF isn't a great transmission. It's ubiquitous. You find that from anything from the Hellcats, the M340s, to this. And it's tuned to perfection here by BMW. But
at the push of a button on one of these M1 or M2 buttons, you can completely transform the experience. Oh my God, and those higher RPMs, it just screams. It feels every bit as quick as those numbers suggest, if not quicker. Powering this beast is BMW's S63. This is the third iteration. And funny enough, the camera car following us today actually has the first generation of the S63. Enter the camera car, 2013 BMW X5M with the S63 engine, just as you have in this. Although this is the third iteration, a much better engine altogether, more fuel efficient, higher revving, better sounding. For those that are complaining about cars sounding worse now versus prior, yeah, take a listen to these two and see what you think. So this engine made about 555 horsepower back in 2010. Now, this is the competition model, so it has more than the standard, but 617 horsepower. Not a huge upgrade, but also BMW is known for understating their engines. And my God, that feels like it's 700 or 800 horsepower stock. It is unbelievable. Yeah. Let's see about launch control here. Oh my God! Wow.
So clearly I enjoyed my time with this car. One of the best BMWs that have come out of Bavaria in the last 10-15 years, for sure. But definitely not the best M5. But I don't think we expected it to be. In previous generations, the top dog standard 5 Series had quite a big gap between it and the M5. And that gap keeps getting smaller with every generation. This one in particular. The M550 is so good right now, it would be really hard for me to recommend spending an additional $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 with options over that to get an M5. If you can't afford it, you'll be perfectly content with an M550 with a few grand in mods. It'll be 9/10 the car the M5 will be, and for a fraction of the price. This may be the last great M5. I am not holding my breath on the G90 blowing my socks off. The G90 is fast approaching. It's been rumored to have a hybrid powertrain, which has been all but confirmed. So that car is going to be even faster than this, even more capable. It's going to weigh a lot more. But that's not what made the M5 an M5 in the first place. The M5 is always a lightened, more focused, more raw experience. And with this trajectory, it's getting further and further away from that. But let's just take a second and rejoice over the fact that we do have cars like this in existence. They're all out in the world for us to drive, to purchase, use. So they're not gone forever. They're here to stay. Let's just be thankful of the cars that were built by BMW in the last 25, 30 years. I mean, truly legendary cars. It's just a shame that BMW's not continuing to make cars like this. Thanks, Pete, for letting me borrow your car for the day. It was an awesome experience, and I'll see you on the next one.
So we at Turn One, we have gas in our veins. We live and breathe this stuff. Subscribe to our channel, check out our other videos from around the world, and look for some new videos coming up. Our producers Drew and Dave have some exciting adventures for the Turn 1 group.